Yeah, that might help. Unmute. Good, good, good. All right. And let's see. Where am I? Do we have the lock? Oh, it's up. I gotta go Facebook. I'll do Google first. Go live on Google. Is that it? Oh, oops. Oops. Preparing to go live over here, and then oops over here. All right. We made it. 7 days later, we're out of this. We can just go back to normal. Buddy of mine, Pete Fortunato, well, not a buddy of mine, but I went down to virtual one. All about selling your deal, gaming. Really? Oh, it's not gaming. Okay. Publish as a test broadcast. No. Okay. Well, let's just go. And then I'll have to turn the volume down because it'll play right after me once it loads up. So I don't know if we're on. No, we're just Facebook because Google crapped out on me. So are we live? I don't know. I guess I'll take your word for it. We're recording it, so I can put that on Google, YouTube later on. Let me upload this image. So I don't have 60. Hey, what's he chewing? All right, I think good. Nobody's getting on. I had 128 register for this, so let's see it, guys. Let's get on. I gotta get on my phone to share because for some reason it won't let me share. Can we just let them both when we all need to find a way to work together? We are not each other's enemies. Oh yeah, well, the problem with that is that I don't think the president is a real good, like, what's the word? Second fiddle, maybe. He's got to be like front and center, which is fine. Okay. How do I? Oh, Mike the wholesaler, and oh, I'm live right now. Cool. All right, share this post, get the word out, get some people on here. I need some questions. Really? Really? What? Yeah, I want to share a post from Mike the Wholesaler's page to Mike the Wholesaler's page. All right. And then I'll put it in my group. Come on. There we go. All right, hopefully people will jump on. Halfway through, we are at time. Let me share my screen. I'll share the whole stuff. Okay. Really? Okay. Literally just clicked on it. All right, so here we are. I'm gonna present. Can I get a chat? Was that?
Pencil sharpener.
It chewed the pencil sharpener? Well, I don't know. Sprinkle that stuff with lemon juice. Okay. Oh, ooh, ooh. All right. Oh, okay. That's weird. What was I thinking? All right. Yeah, there we go. All right. Hey, we're gonna get started in a second. I gotta update this stuff. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, now I need to do some other stuff before we get started. Get the chat open. Disable that. And play enter. No. No, people just get on. All right. Okay, I'll move that over there. All right. All right, so virtual wholesaling 101, how to sell your wholesale deals with Mike the wholesaler. All right. Here's my contact on all the social media, Mike the wholesaler, except for I think Twitter, which is like wholesale.
What they're talking about, and generally they look for incumbents. The dynamic that was put into that
It should be just doing automatically. Do I not just check that and then it just, no? Allow participants to unmute themselves. Can I not check that one? Okay. Wow, that's gonna be really annoying if I can't just automatically do it, because I know that happens to me too. All right, I'll just mute people every time they come on. Okay. All right, sorry. So there's my number. You can call or text me if you have a deal, if you got questions, need help. There's my email, my website. If you are not part of the South Atlanta area, you can go here and I'll put this in the chat, which I got to bring up again. There. Yeah, so back in the day, I had some bandit signs that, I didn't want to put phone numbers on them. So I would put Magic Mike by buyshouses.com, And so that's where the name Magic Mike came from. I'm not really a stripper. But a little funny story, I actually took the first 3 sentences of the synopsis to Magic Mike, the movie, and I put that and I sent that as my bio to Stacy. So when she put me in on the website, it actually says, I was a stripper and I went from working a pole to flipping houses, and just they okayed it. Like they thought, I don't know if they read it, but pretty funny. About me, I'm married to an amazing, beautiful, shy wife, and I got 2 crazy kids, which you can hear them. And there they are. There's Noah, and there's Lincoln. Lincoln turned 5 today, so he got a bunch of birthday presents. And yeah, so it's going to be crazy. There they are, Noah and Lincoln. I collect Monopolies. I'm the wholesaling super group leader of the South Atlanta RIA, and now I believe the South Atlanta RIA is going nationwide or virtual, or I'm becoming part of the national RIA under Stacy. Yeah, so I don't know if I have a picture of that, but it's a national RIA, so I'll be the wholesaling supergroup leader of that as well. I won Teacher of the Year in 2018 with Angela Davenport. And here's a really cool thing. This morning, this guy's doing a backpack drive for Christmas and the homeless. So if you donate gloves, beanies, socks, blankets, deodorant, toothbrushes, toothpaste, all that cool stuff, backpacks too, add me on Facebook. Here's what I look like right here. There's my wife. Of course, I got some of her blocked off. And then there's me. So you can look up my name, find me, add me, and then this is like, I think I shared this today. And then so you can contact this person and donate, and we can do it. And Brandy Davenport? Yeah, so there's Angela Davenport. And yeah, so wow. There's more Davenports. Okay. She's a wholesaler in the city of Atlanta. And yeah, so I'm outside of Atlanta. So we're pretty buddies. Okay, so homework. This is carryover in the slides from the 12-week wholesaling course, which I do at the South Atlanta RIA website. So if you want to get on there, it's a 12-week course on your time, to where every Monday night I would come on there live and talk about one of the steps to doing wholesaling. And then we give you the contracts, we give you the deal analyzers, where you just plug in stuff into a spreadsheet and it tells you what your offer should be. And then we also give you the assignment agreements to sell it to the buyer. So we give you all the stuff you need to do, all the stuff you need to know, and then all the paperwork you need to get the deals done. I think it's like 120, and then you get something else in there too. And of course, this was your homework from last month, which is we did on virtual assistants. So post an ad for a VA, hire one of them, give them a task. And I actually handed out a VA, which during the call, I handed out a VA to somebody because they contacted through the form. So if you haven't seen that, go watch it on the YouTube channel, The Wealth University. How to sell your wholesale deals. All right, what you have is a contract. What you're selling is a contract. What you do not have is a house. What you are not selling is a house. So, a lot of people think I'm selling a house. Depending on who you're talking to, if you're talking to a realtor, you could get in a lot of trouble, because if you're selling a house, you're pretending to be a realtor, and they could get you in trouble. So just say I'm selling a contract on a house. They know you're a wholesaler. They can't say that. That's all you have is the house. So the contract. So you have the contract. The contract is exclusive rights to buy the house. You sell that contract to the cash buyer. They then close on it. they buy the house. Okay. Just sign the seller agreement. Now, what now? All right. So this is the step you're on. So you've just signed the agreement with the seller. Now you've got to turn around and market the crap out of it. Okay. So this is your to-do list. Get a lockbox on the back door with a key to the house. Here is a lockbox that I get. It is a Master Lock 5400. It's 31 bucks online. It's 30 bucks in the store. If you have some money up front, you can go to Home Depot and order them on their website for, I think you get a big box of them for a discount, like $100, and you get 4 of them, maybe. But yes, and then make this code right here to get into it, the last 4 digits of the seller's phone number. And then that way you can give that to the seller and say, hey, they want peace of mind. They still want access to the property. Yeah. I'm going to talk about how to find cash buyers in a second, but yeah. So you want a lockbox on the back door, and you don't want it on the front so that they can't, people don't drive by and see that it's vacant. Okay. All right. And if it's all boarded up, you don't need a lockbox. Just get a drill, and you can just take those screws off and then put them back. Or you can just tell the buyer, hey, bring a drill so you can take the boards off. Here's another one that's cheaper. I don't know how good quality it is. I don't know if that matters. If you need something cheaper, if you're short of money, do what you gotta do. And then you can never take too many pics. Okay, so get more pics, put them in a Google Drive link, unlock that Google Drive link because they lock it by default. You can use Dropbox, but Google Drive is more widely used. More people have a Google account. It's just easier for me to use. I had some problems where I wasn't paying for Dropbox, and it was just weird to upload stuff to it. So I can, the app is easier to use on the phone. The computer application is just easier to use. And don't take like 5 pics. Take like 200 pics. Okay. So you're trying to show this buyer with pictures over the internet or with an email or a text. You send them that, text them that link, and you're like, hey, this is pictures of this house. They're not there. So, or you could take a video. You know what I mean? But there may be little things that they want to see. Like you take one picture of a room, and they're like, well, what does the other side of the room look like? What does the ceiling in there look like? Is the ceiling over the ceilings over the sinks and tubs and toilets is something you need to be doing, because they're going to look up there. They want to look down the floor. They want to look, 3 different pictures per room. And then if you see something weird, like a crack in the wall, take a picture of that. Zoom in and be like, here's the crack. There it is in the ceiling. And then take a picture of the crack and the door of the room, so that when they look at the pictures, they'll know, oh, this is the door to the 2nd bedroom. And the crack is above that door. So that later on when they're looking at other pics and they see a crack in the guest bathroom downstairs and they see that same crack, they're like, oh, that's a continuation of the same crack. You need to give them a bunch of eyes and ears, especially with everything that's going on right now. They might not want to go out to the property, or for safety reasons. So you're going to need to tell them over the internet as many pictures as they want. Imagine you're buying it and how many pictures you would want of it if you were not there in person. Okay. Get flyers printed. Okay, so here is a flyer that I made, and so I didn't really make a flyer for this one because, so this is in an opportunity zone, which there's 5 of those nationwide. One is in Noonan, Georgia. So I got this one under contract with the help of one of my cold callers, Tasha. Shout out to Tasha. She is awesome and amazing on the phone. So if you know her, great skills. And So we met this lady, signed the agreement, got it under contract. The buyer told me anything in this opportunity zone. So I just went in that opportunity zone. I went on PropStream, found everything in there, and I looked at all the stuff there, and I pulled those leads out, skip traced them with Lead Sherpa, which is like the best lead service there is. So look up Lead Sherpa. I looked them up with Lead Sherpa. Tasha called them all. We got this lady in through there, and so I've already got the buyer. I've showed it to him. He's looking at it right now, and then he's going to get back to me if he likes the price or if he wants to negotiate. But I guess if he backs out for some weird, I doubt he would, because he's already told me his criteria, that this meets all of his criteria. If the price is too high, we can always go back and renegotiate with the seller. But yeah, it was fire damaged, boarded up. So I made this quick flyer this morning. This is what it would look like. I put a picture of me right here in the picture of the house, so they can't like crop me out. I guess I could put it, up here. But yeah, I found people would sell some of my, would take my pics and would start marketing it as their own, which is, they can do, but they need to ask me first, and then I can give them the actual picture. And of course, they could probably go on Google and Street View and get the picture that way, but you just make it harder for them. And plus, seeing the picture there with the buyers, gives me credibility. One of 5 opportunity zones in the U.S. I give all the stats on it, and ARV, the rent. They get so many tax cuts in an opportunity zone. So the fact that all this stuff is super cheap, like low, 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 is fine, and it needs a lot of repairs, doesn't matter because it's an opportunity zone. There's so many tax cuts. And then say, call me for pics or viewing. I could put an email, but I don't want to check my email. I want you to call me or text me. And that number is a CRM number from REI Simple. So when they call that, that is a buyer tagged phone number. So it gets tagged in the campaign for cash buyers. I know that they're a buyer. It puts them into the buyer side of the website. And then when I log into the CRM, I can put in that anyone that calls while I'm advertising this property in Noonan is looking for properties in Noonan. So I can put in 30263. Well, maybe if they're looking at just opportunity zones are weird. But I could put in Noonan and call them in the future if I get any more. All right, and okay. Propelio, you could look up cash buyers and get their addresses and names, LLC name, but no contact info. I guess I should skip trace the address or name, which CS. So REI Simple, and it's my dot REI simple.com, and it's $97 a month. I was using Podio, and Angela Davenport would call me Professor Podio, and I had it all tricked out. And then I went to REI Simple because REI Simple does phone numbers, and I can text right to the computer screen. I can call right to the computer screen. Mass texting, I can skip trace through there. I can pull leads through there. You do everything through there. And the one thing that Podio doesn't do is phone numbers, texting, or any kind of phone service. And they have phone apps that work with them, but you have to set them all up through, and they're third party. And this is all at the same site. I just buy a number, link it up to a campaign. This is a foreclosure number, text them out. They get put into the foreclosure campaign, and I can see all the chart graphs and everything. So look up cash buyer. Yeah, so let me do that. Here we go. Okay. So I'm gonna pause my share. Okay. and I'm gonna and I'll bring up what I use, which is uh, prop stream. Prop stream. I don't want you to see my info. And then I use lead Sherpa. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. So let me know if you can't see that, but you should be able to see that. All right. So here is, ugh, why are we way over here? There we go. All right. So I've got all of my lists here that you can see. And PropStream, I don't know if Propelio does this, but PropStream, the reason I went with them, paid them an extra 27 bucks a month, and I can see which of these are on the market. So I can literally take all these and remove them from the list. Don't, yeah, just delete. They're on market. They're being listed. I don't want them. Still, okay. I guess not. All right. But so we've got has lien, bankruptcy, pre-foreclosure, bank owned. As you know, you can't really do a whole lot with that. Uh, and then so if I go here to search, and let's say I've got one in Noonan, Georgia. I can go here, look up at this, cash buyers. There we go. So if this guy doesn't want it, I can pull up cash buyers here. And then, oh, and by the way, this is 97 a month. 97 a month, and then 27 for that extra check to see if the property has been listed or if it's just been sold, because you don't want to be marketing to somebody who's got their house listed on the MLS or they've just sold it. And we want obviously non-owner occupied. Property characteristics, I plug in here single family, and then we want residential, and then you can plug in whatever the bed and bath is of that particular house. And MLS status doesn't matter because this person is a cash buyer who bought a house. So we don't care if they bought it on the MLS or not. Ownership info, and we want individual so we can skip trace them. And then mortgage info. So we go down here to include cash buyer, include free and clear, and then there, and you see we got 6. So 6 cash buyers, and yeah. And then of course you can also come up here and go into sale date.
How would I hold that?
Do they have a sale date? Estimated equity. Last sale price, last sale date. So last sale date, and you come in here, and since everything that happened in March, what I would do is only deal with a buyer if they bought after March 24th. Okay. So one guy, everybody else bought before March, meaning that this person paid, they paid $212,000 for this house in 2020, 5/11. They paid cash for this property, a 2-2. Now, so there's probably a low number of 2-2s being bought with cash. So it's if I go to 3-2, there's probably a lot more. But since I've got a buyer in the bag with the opportunity zones, that's the only reason I'm going in here, sort of reverse wholesaling. I've got the guy who wants the houses, and then I'm just finding them for him. So there's only one, and it's here, and he bought after March, meaning so during lockdown, this guy was like, yeah, I want to buy a house for cash. So he's still buying. A lot of like half my cash buyers just ended up dropping off afterwards. So I'll go to add it to a list. I'd add it to a list, and then I'm not going to do it, but it'll wind up over here in properties. You then select which list you want, and then you'll click on this box to select them all, and then you'll export. And then when you export them, you bring them over here, and you batch skip trace them in Lead Sherpa. And if they have skip traced them before, it won't charge you. So it'll say in here if it hit somebody before. And then look at the prices. 5 cents to skip. I believe, no, wait. 9 cents? Pretty cheap. I think, or maybe it's 15 cents. They tell you how many they got. If they got everybody, what the cost is. And yeah, it's awesome. And this Lead Sherpa will find IP addresses, so computer addresses. It'll find emails, phone numbers. It will even skip trace and find 2 of the closest relatives, and then skip trace their phone numbers, 3 of them. And then it will give you an accuracy rating for each one of those, and it'll give you a last seen date. So if you see 2 phone numbers on there or skip trace to this owner, and it has a last seen date on both of them as like 2015, those are probably old phone numbers that they haven't been used. But you see a phone number that was last used last month, that phone number is probably accurate, and that's going to be the person. And then if you're looking up and the person passed away, you have skip traced of the 2 closest relatives. So you plug them in and call them up. I've used the IP address before when I couldn't find somebody and I had a buyer really looking for that property. And so I looked up the IP address that was last seen this year. And then I ended up plugging that IP address into Google. And Google was like, first thing that came up was an IP address locator. So I went to that website, plugged in the IP address, gave me the longitude and the latitude, and ended up finding the address of where they are currently. And then I skip traced that address and looked up that owner on the tax site and found them that way. So amazing. So yeah, prop stream and Lead Sherpa, definitely. So that's how you find the cash buyers. You can also get cash buyers on, well, you can't normally, you can go to the courthouse on the first Saturday of every month, but not anymore. And then you can also, if you do the $40 plan at the South Atlanta RIA, you get access to all the cash buyers that are a member of the RIA. Another way to get cash buyers is listsource.com. Simple.com gets cash buyers. And then, Facebook posts, all that kind of stuff. So tons of ways of finding cash buyers. And so let's get back to it. Chicken or the egg, buyer first or seller first? Okay, so I say, cash buyers will not give you the time of day. Okay, so if you come up to at the courthouse steps and they've got a foreclosure auction, which they're not doing until January, you'll hear people walk up and they'll tell you to say, I work with a group of investors that source deeply discounted properties nationwide. Could I get your business card? And they won't have one, or they'll say, no, I don't care. I'm bidding on property. Buddy of mine, Rock, has a thing where he will go to Hooters and he'll pay one of the girls there $1 per business card. And of course, she'll go around to everybody and get $1 per business card. But what I do is a little something differently. And let's see if they. Okay. So what I do is I wait until I have a deal. I have a flyer. I go to the courthouse steps, and whoever bids on the property, I don't worry about them. I look at the people who are bidding on the property but don't get it. They've lost it. And then I walk up to them afterward with the flyer. So I'm giving them something. I'm not asking something from them. I'm giving them something. So they can call me later on if they want. I give them that flyer. I say, hey, I've got a property right in that same zip code, right on that street, that same area, same neighborhood, whatever. Here, take a look at it. If you like it, give me a call. No bidding. You can see the inside because they can't see the inside foreclosure auction. And they have to bid against other people. And I'll let you take a look at it. You can see it today if you want. And you just go around and do that. Now you've got to text people and email people, which is a little not as good. So things to do now that may take some time is go to meetups like Haves and Wants or Deals meetups. The Georgia RIA has one called Deals, Deals, Deals. My internet, oh, okay. So let me know if y'all can't hear me. I'll bring the chat up. It's saying that my internet connection is unstable. All right, so Haves and Wants is a good one. They are on Meetup at the Atlanta RIA. No, they're a subgroup of the South Atlanta RIA, Haves and Wants. You can go to my Meetup, meetup.com/thewealthhue, or the South Atlanta RIA. So the first Tuesday of the month at 9 a.m. is the Super Tuesday. That's the courthouse steps auction. Haves and Wants at the Hudson Grill in Sandy Springs. That it should be at every Thursday at 1:30. But check the South Atlanta RIA, their meetup for that. And then any deal meetups, and then also Flipping America meetups, which is on meetup.com. Things to do, get on buyers lists. Okay, so this is how I got a big buyers list. All right, so somehow people would put me on their buyers list, and I'd be like, okay, so they'd be sending me deals. One time somebody sent me a deal, and I saw all these emails, and apparently what that is those are CC'd. They CC'd their buyers, which is carbon copied their buyers list. So I went in there and copied all of their cash buyers and added them to my list. And then you're supposed to BCC, which is like hiding the carbon copy. So each person sees that you just emailed just them. Okay. And that's happened 3 more times. So people have given me their buyers lists. So you don't have to say you're a cash buyer because you're not, or maybe you are. But I would just say the truth, which is, hey, put me on your buyers list. Here's my email. Here's my number. You know, send me your stuff, or well, your email. You want the email too. So they'll CC. You can't CC a phone number. When you meet into the wholesaler, say, put me on your buyers list. They will put you on the email list. When you see you need buyers in your area, post on social media, people will put their emails in there. So you can go in and you can click on the 3 dots and you can click on add notifications to me or to you. And anytime somebody posts in there, you'll get a notification without actually posting anything. So you'll be like a ninja, okay? And then of course, sometimes people will put their phone number, or you can click on their actual profile and they may have a phone number there. Phone numbers are better. You just text them a picture of the house, get right to it. People rarely check email. When they send out deals, you'll see them and know the shadow market, okay? So there's a shadow market that's below the real market, which is because it's stuff, when wholesalers sell deals, they don't post those out into the world. So it's sort of this secondary hidden market. And then they may CC their buyers to you. Things that may take some time, post the flyer and address without the address on Craigslist. So don't put the address on Craigslist. Don't put the address on Zillow or anywhere online, because if the seller looks up the address, they'll find it. Just put a picture and all the stats on it, maybe the zip code. That is the hook, the lure. And then when the buyer says, hey, send me the address, say, email me email me at this number or at this email, or call me at this number, or text me and get their actual info. Because Craigslist will give you like a gobbledygook, like Craigslist at whatever. You want their actual contact, okay? So if they want the address, they need to contact your number, and then you'll have their number or their email, okay? You want that real stuff. Okay, so like this, no address, the seller can't Google it, picking something about it, email or text to get more pics. So the pics is also the hook. They get more pics of the inside and the outside. Am I back? Oh my gosh, wow. Okay, so my internet just went out. I'm on my phone hotspot right now. Ooh, wow, that is good. All right, so everybody's back. I'm gonna share my screen and get right back into it. Okay. Man, all right. So we're still live on Facebook and we're still recording. Wow, that is good. Okay. Let me get up here and get the chat back. Okay. Oh, there's nothing in the chat. Okay. I guess I can't see anything that y'all did in the past. Okay, so address on Craigslist, you want their actual stuff and the pics, that's all that extra hook. Put out bandit signs around the area, but not at the house. And you want to use you want to make it sort of look sloppy, not your non-dominant hand. You still want to use your dominant hand, but you want to make it look like sloppy, and you want to write it on a blank one. So with the seller, you want to look professional. With the buyer, you want to play to their hunter instincts on finding a good deal. And the way you do that is you put must sell 32 in your number. Okay. Cash only, no realtors, that kind of stuff. All right. So when I see that, I'm like, oh, this is my deal. This is my jam. Okay. So I go after that stuff. All right. So put bandit signs out. Not in the yard. At the front of the neighborhood is good. At intersections in the area, just the bed, bath, price, cash only, and your number on them. Nothing special. And don't do little like dollar signs and stuff around them. Okay. So I did one on bandit signs or online and offline signs a couple months ago. So go to the YouTube channel, The Wealth University, and you can scroll back and see that video. More on bandit signs. Do not post ghost ads. Okay, so ghost ads are really bad. I saw a guy putting out a sign that said 32 must sell phone number, and I called it right there at the light, and he was like, oh man, I'm sorry, we just sold it. I was like, dude, you just put the sign out. Like, what are you talking about? They just end up making the buyer mad. I've had a deal where I literally did just sell it. A buyer calls me and say, hey, I literally just sold it, and they cussed me out. And they won't, they dropped off. They don't pick up my phone anymore. So you only want to sell a house that you actually have, because people will get mad at you. I get mad at them. I'm like, I get off the phone and I'm like, who was that guy? Like, it just makes me, and I'm a wholesaler. I'm looking just to wholesale the house that they got. I'm not even looking at to buy it. So if it does that to me, I can imagine what it does to some 20-year veteran in the real estate industry. So don't post ghost ads. The one day you can post ghost ads is on April 1st. Okay, only day. And I'll come in there and say, April Fools, everybody, and they'll keep posting their email. Hey, let me take a look at it. Call me. Ugh, people. But that's the only day, and it's a joke. And I get tons of buyers that way too. Things to do that may get buyers. Now, put a link in your bio and share the link to the flyer. So put that in your bio on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and TikTok if you're doing that one. Email it out if you already have an email list. and then, or text blast if you have a text list. And so the reason you want to do it that way is that if they get that link of the flyer, you can change the flyer. Like if the price goes down, and so with an email, if you were just type it up in the email, send that out, it's stuck. You have to send a new email and you have to say price reduced or something like that. This way, you just send out the flyer again, or if they look at the old flyer, they won't be able to compare and say, well, oh, this other one, or whatever. I've had a couple times where I had to increase the price of a deal, and it made it easy because they couldn't go back and see, hey, it was 5,000 cheaper because I've accidentally sent them out at the price I had them with the seller. I don't sell buyer's lists anymore, but I guess if you need one, since I made this mistake, I'll do it. You can do list source. If you know a realtor, or if you are a realtor or a realtor's assistant, you can pull a list of cash buyers. You will need to skip trace them, and you want to skip trace the house that they live in. That's the house you want to skip trace, not the house that they bought. Text it out on slide text. If you have numbers, you can do REI Simple, or the South Atlanta REIA has a deal on Call Fire, I believe. You get a discount for being a member. You can go to the member directory if you are on the Action Takers plan, which is $40 a month, and you can just call the buyers directly. Need help selling your deal? Let me know. I don't know if that site's still up, but you can call or text me. I don't do that anymore. I thought I deleted that. So your homework for next month, and should be during lockdown, is to get a deal to sell. If you don't already, sell that deal. If you don't have a deal, ask another wholesaler if they have any deals you can market for them, and whatever they have it at, you sell it at that same price, and you just say, well, hey, we'll split that profit. You don't want to be tacking on your price on top of theirs, because one buyer is going to see you're charging this much and this other guy's charging a little less, so they'll be thinking, oh, you're stealing this other guy's deal. You don't want to look like you're a newbie wholesaler, right? So you want to sell at the same price as them, split the profit, and don't post ghost ads. You want to work with me, you can apply at oneononewithmagicmike.com, or go to thewellsuniversity.com and use the code COVID-19, all caps, and that's it. Do you put the actual address on the flyer, even though some buyers will backdoor you and call the seller? How are they going to backdoor me and call the seller? So you literally have to tell them what the address is, like, because if you go back, you have to tell them what the address is, because what are they buying? Like, they're going to be like, where's the house? Let me take a look at it. You know what I mean? Like, they've got to see it. And so for them to backdoor you with the seller, they would need to skip trace the seller, call the seller. But when you sign that agreement with the seller, they've sold the house in their mind. It's done. They're not thinking that, oh, I can go around them. And if another wholesaler does try to go around you, you can just take that contract to the courthouse and get it notarized, and it will cloud the title. And so when they go to close on it, that realtor will pull title. They'll pull up that agreement, and they'll say, hey, this other guy actually is buying it. But then you end up, if you back out of that deal, you have to go up there and back out of the deal as stated in your agreement. So if your agreement says I've got to call or text or email the seller, hey, I'm backing out, you've got to email or call or text them that. And you should be selling the deal before they have a chance to skip trace and call them. There's no way they can. I've never had that happen before, where the somebody like contacted the seller and went around me. And if they do go around you, and you'll know who they are. So you can tell everybody about them. So post it in my group, every group, let them know, hey, this guy's trying to go around me. I did have one guy from New Western try to go around me. Or it was either New Western or what's the other one? The wholesaling companies. Net Worth Realty. So it could be one of those companies. And so the guy came, and the lady called me and said, hey, some guy came and said that you were working with him at Net Worth Realty. And I was like, well, I don't know, it's my company. She was like, yeah, I remember you saying that. It sounded kind of weird. But I had built up so much rapport with this lady that she called me to tell me. And he said that, oh, yeah, he had the actual agreement, and wanted to see if she would sign it. She was like, well, I've already signed one. That's weird. And I was like, I don't work with this guy at all. And of course, they let him go a couple days later. But yeah, and there was no way he met the seller at the property, because she actually lived in the property. So that was the only way he actually knew that it was her, or knew how to find her. Does anybody have any deals, or is anybody a cash buyer? Are you sending out any marketing, mailers, texting, cold calling? I have got 3 cold callers right now, cold calling, and RAS Simple. I just get them in there. They have their own phone number. I have a list, and I tell them, hey, you're doing this list, the other guy's doing this list, the other guy's doing this list. And they call them out, they put the leads in there. It's such a great system. I mean, if you can afford that $97 a month, go for it. So much. I mean, it does literally everything. But that cold calling, like, and you can get like a relative who's good on the phone, or you can even do mass texting on there if you don't like talking to people. I've got one guy that just hates talking to people. I've got another lady that used to work with the warranty company at Toyota, and so they'd call you, hey, let me talk to you about your extended warranty. And so she's used to the no. And then I've got another guy that's fine with talking to people, and I'll talk for an hour with a wrong number, you know. But you got to remember that these are virtual numbers, so there's no way they can find you. If they keep calling that number, or they bug you, or they texting you every day, you can just delete that number and buy a new one, you know. So it's no big deal. No. The cold caller is, so I $97 a month is everything in RES Simple. So you get RES Simple, and the phone number is $4. The cold caller, so I made a deal. I sent out a text to all of my wholesalers a couple months ago, and I said, hey, I need cold callers. Any deal you do, we'll split it 50-50. I'll give you the script on what to say, and I'll pull the list. I'll skip trace the list, and you call it. So she calls the list. The other guys call the list. We're going to split this one in Noonan 50-50. Probably going to make like 5,000 on it. So we'll split that, 2,500 to me, 2,500 to her at the closing. And that's how she gets paid for it. And this is just a person that I met through going to events and stuff. Had 2 leads from Riverdale and Conyers from Bennett Signs, but they want full market price. Both had their properties listed for 9+ months on the MLS. Failed to sell. So they failed to sell, and they still wanted full asking. Going to my first appointment was cool, though. Yeah. Mine, the guy had no shirt. He just had shorts on, and I had a suit and tie, and the lady had a wife beater on, shorts and flip-flops. And it was in Rockmart, and it was so weird. But I mean, I was high as a kite. Like, I got out of there. I had to go to work that afternoon, and I mean, it was so like, yeah. So I would follow up with those people, those 2 leads, maybe like every month. So put it in your phone like whenever the last day, like on the 1st or whatever of last month, or on the 28th of last month, put it at the 28th of this month, and repeat it every month to call those people and see if they're still interested in selling, and then ask them how much they want to sell for, because they're going to come down. I mean, you're going to be I mean, there's delusional, full asking price. And do they need any work? If they need work, like, yeah, come on. But if they need work, they're going to come down in price. If they don't need work, I would say try thinking about lease options. So if you could make payments to them or take over their mortgage, if you could pay the mortgage for them. Another tip is, like, so if they want full asking price, which is say 200,000, say, is there a mortgage on it, and how much is that mortgage? And so if the mortgage is like 150, so say, okay, so you want 50,000, and then I take over the mortgage. So you say, well, let me take over the mortgage and I'll pay 50,000. And then you say, instead of paying you 50,000 at once, let me pay you 50,000 over the course of like 15 years. Let me make payments on that 50,000. Is that okay? And then what you can do is do it that way. And if the mortgage payment is like 500, and then the rent in the area is 1,000 a month, based on how many beds and baths, you would then get a tenant, move him in. The tenant pays you 1,000. You didn't pay him his 5, and then plus 100 or 200 that he wants to pay for that 50,000. And then in a couple of years, the tenant has higher credit, and then they just get a loan for 250,000. They pay you. 50 goes to the seller. 150 goes to pay the mortgage. 50 goes to you. Yeah, if it doesn't need a whole lot of work. At what point should we contact you to JV? Okay, so here's how you do JVs. All right, I don't do any sort of contract or anything like that. But yeah, you could just call me at this number. And so whoever gets the contract with the seller or the agreement, you're good. It's when you take that agreement to the cash buyer, that's the one that you want your name on. So like if you are with the seller, let's say you have the contract with the seller, and then I find a buyer for that house, I would go get an agreement to assign the deal to the buyer, and it would have my name on it. I would then need to get your name on that assignment as well. My name doesn't need to be on the seller agreement. It just needs to be on the buyer agreement. So when we go to closing, you have the seller agreement. I can't do anything without that seller agreement being at closing. So you're good. You're covered. I'm covered because I've got the buyer on my end. We go to closing. They look at who's on the assignment. They see there's 2 people. They split whatever profit there is 2 ways. If you do a JV agreement, then even if you find a buyer for it, I've got that JV agreement that's going to say, hey, you give me half, even though you found a buyer. So I could come back. Could come back and get you. When I get an appointment, once we get on the contract, contact me right now, or after this. Give me a call, and I'll walk you through it. I've got to. I got to do some party stuff this afternoon for my kid, but before that, we can talk about it. Yeah, and we can talk about what to do on Monday. So before you get it under contract, after you get it under contract, I know some people are scared and they're like, wait till I get it under contract, and then they come to me, and then they usually end up having it at too high of a price with the seller. So it's good if you get to me at first. I'm not going to steal the deal from you. If I do, you got me here on Facebook. You can tell everybody in my group that I steal deals. So yeah, put me on blast. Hold me accountable. The ARV is 160. She wants 140. Yeah, that sounds like and it doesn't need a whole lot of work, but I think in my opinion, the ARV, the maximum allowable offer is 90 as a wholesale. But if there's not a whole lot of repairs, it may be perfect. If it's rent ready right now, it'd be perfect for a lease option or a sub two if there's a mortgage. House fully paid off. Yeah, so lease option. I do want to create financing JV with you. Oh, if you need financing, I was just on a podcast with a guy, Rob, and he does financing 80-20, so or 90-10, I think, which is pretty good, during a pandemic. So if you need financing or if you have a cash buyer that needs financing, send them to me. I'll get the paperwork on that Monday. I just recorded the podcast yesterday. So he can get you funding, and it's not really quick, but he'll fund it 90%, and then you come in with 10%. Really, I mean, good numbers too. Yeah. So if you've done, the more flips you've done, the cheaper and lower your rates will be. So yeah, if you need funding, I've got you. I got, one-stop shop, right? Creative financing, very interesting. You have too much on my plate to fully learn creative financing right now. Yeah. So do the deal with me. We'll partner up on this deal. Give me a call after this, and we will. And you can do the deal and see how I do it, and then of course you'll be able to go off, and next time a deal like that comes in, you'll be able to do it yourself. Yeah, plenty of deals to go around. So yeah, can you just click on that number? It like highlighted it. Okay. So yeah, you can call me at that number, and yeah, right after this, let's do some deals, because that's how you're gonna learn. When I work one-on-one with a student, I mean, that's basically what we do. Yeah. All right. And now that this election is over, hopefully everything will go back to normal. And yeah. So right now, Trump has obviously put a stop to foreclosure auctions. I mean, which he should. And he put a stop to eviction. So you can't evict anybody, because we're in a pandemic, until January 1st. So if Biden doesn't do anything, or if he doesn't take over right at January 1st, I don't know if they advertise foreclosures in December for January's Super Tuesday, the first Tuesday of January, they'll have an auction. Then we'll know. We'll probably have that auction. There may be like however long it takes for Biden to take over as president. We'll have that time to evict people, but I think that he may stop that the next month. But that'd be really cool if we can get back to foreclosures and stuff. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Take my private message out. Okay. All right. And if there's nothing else, I'm going to copy the chat minus this deal that you sent me privately, and I'll put this chat. I'll post this on YouTube, and then I'll send this out to everybody, and y'all can watch the recording. I saved this at. Google Keep. There we go. If you don't have Google Keep, it's awesome. It's like a note app, but I can also get it on my computer or on my iPad. So it's in the cloud if it'll load up. So I'll save this there, and then I'll save the rest of the chat to the YouTube. so y'all see what everybody. Well, I won't have those first couple questions. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. All right, everybody. If you don't have any more questions, so yeah, just make it through this, everybody. And what's going on? Oh, okay. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. And you have all my info. If y'all got any questions, let me know later on. Next month, I will be on the 5th of December. Back here again at 12:30. I will be talking about the closing process. So how to close on a deal. And hopefully by then I'll have this free wholesaling course up and ready to go for all of you. And I'll let you know if I finish before that. I'll have that out for everybody. And then follow me on social media. Go to my page, Mike the Wholesaler, like it. Send me your Facebook page, your YouTube channel, your Instagram, your whatever. Post that actually in the Facebook group, the Wealth University public. If you go to that Facebook group, post it in there. And then everybody else will like your stuff, will subscribe, follow you, we'll all help each other out and get likes and follows and stuff to grow your social media. All right. I am Mike the Wholesaler, and if it'll pop up, I'm Mike the Wholesaler, and I'll see y'all on the next one.